Welcome to the 800 Credit Score Man Show. I am your host, Kevin King. He is I, and I am him, the 800 Credit Score Man himself. And I want to thank each and every one of you guys for coming in and giving me, 30 minutes of your time on a Saturday afternoon, 1:30 Central Standard Time, 2:30 East Coast. That's 11:30 a.m. on the West Coast. And if you listen to it on demand, thank you again for your listens through the week. I really appreciate it. Tuesdays seem to be a big day when it comes to people coming on and actually listening to the show. So again, thank each and every one of you, and please continue to share this show when you get it, however you get it. You see me on Instagram, you see me on Facebook, or wherever it is, on Twitter, then please share this show. Retweet it if you are on Twitter. So again, thank you so very much. I appreciate it. Hey guys, I got to tell you something. I am on location today, so it may not sound exactly the same way you're used to hearing it from me. I've done this show several times on location, and today, of course, got a little technical difficulties. I've come to the realization that my microphone does not like to travel. At home, it's fine. Home studio, it does exactly what it's supposed to do. But I'm on location. Sometimes when you live this life, this laptop lifestyle, every now and then you get a bug in there. So I'm coming to you today, and I hope you can hear me fine. So you may not have the clarity that you usually have. However, the information provided today on today's show is going to be just as valuable. So thank you again for coming in and listening to the 800 Credit Score Man Show. So what are we going to talk about today? Today we're going to explore co-signing. Have you ever had to co-sign? And I'm not talking about, somebody said, something about somebody's mama or something about your job, and you co-signed on it. You said, yeah, I agree with that. I'm talking about co-signing for someone if they have a personal loan or trying to get a car, or even if you an apartment or something. Some people will sign up on a lease for that. So I'm talking to you today about co-signing on that. And I'm also going to talk to you about being an authorized signer. I've mentioned it on the show before and delved into it a little bit. But today we're going to get into it a little bit more, and we're going to talk about being an authorized signer, what are the benefits of being an authorized signer. And today as well, I've got a lot of shout outs today. A lot of people had birthdays and whatnot and contacted me, so I got a lot of shout outs today as well. So we're going to get into all of those things right here on the 800 Credit Score Man Show. And so first off, let me shout out the ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Celebrated their Founders Day since 1908 when they originally founded. So congratulations and a happy Founders Day to all of the pretty girls that wear 20 pearls. Let's get into the show. So let's talk about co-signing today. So when we talk about co-signing, it's important if you are going to co-sign for someone, and I'm not going to endorse it one way or the other. I've said before for myself, that's not my stilo. That's not something that I would actually do on a regular basis. But I can see if my son happened to need a cosigner to get his first car or what have you, although I've taken some steps to help him with his credit score prior to that ever having to come to fruition for him. But if you are going to cosign, or if you have cosigned for someone, then let's talk about how that affects you and how it affects them as well. So when you do co-sign for someone, understand that you are being the guarantee. You're guaranteeing that this person is actually going to pay. If they don't pay this loan back or whatever it is you're co-signing for, then you're going to be on the hook for that amount of money. So make sure that you are aware of that when that happens as well. In addition, let's say you co-sign for someone and then eventually they file bankruptcy. So they file bankruptcy and they file it on that account as well. Then you are going to be responsible for that account wholeheartedly by yourself, because now they are not responsible. The person that they got their loan from cannot collect from them. So where are they going to get their money from? They're going to come and they're going to get that money from you. So that's something that you have to be absolutely aware of when you delve into co-signing. Now, what can you do to protect yourself when you go to co-sign for someone? These are the really important things that you need to know so you can help smooth that transition if you do co-sign for somebody. So here's what you can do. One of the first things you can do is have that person pay you directly. So yes, you have co-signed for them and they owe XYZ company. However, you can make them bring that payment to you and you make that payment to the company. That way, you'll always know when it's made, you know that it's on time, and you won't have an issue at all. So have them pay you directly. It gives you peace of mind that it's actually being paid. And nowadays, it's so easy with services like PayPal or if you're with a particular bank and there's an app for that as well, you can get paid from that other person without physically collecting your $5 from them or whatever it is, so you can make the payment as well. So do that. Make them pay you directly. This way, there won't be any problems at all. You'll know that that account is being paid on time. A second thing you can do to go ahead and protect yourself is to make sure you have access to the account. So make sure that you've got access to it, whether that's online or whether they're by phone, and you can call in and you can see anytime that you want where that account is, especially if they're not paying you directly and you never get to see it. But that way you can monitor that account yourself, and I assure you that will be better for you and your peace of mind as well. A third thing that you can do when it comes to co-signing is you can have the monthly bill sent to you. Have that bill sent to you. Or since nowadays there's a big push for paperless, there is a paperless option with most places, then you can get it by email. Maybe both of you guys can get it by email. Probably won't be able to get two statements because they don't really do that. They won't send two of them out to two different addresses. But maybe by email, you and the other party may be able to go ahead and get that account sent directly to you and get the monthly bill. And this way, again, you'll be able to monitor that. Just like I advise you to monitor your credit score, if you're going to co-sign for someone, it is absolutely imperative that you go ahead and monitor their account, because apparently they didn't have the high enough credit score or what have you to get the loan upon themselves, or they didn't have enough money to get the loan themselves. Because when you go out to get a loan, of course, they're going to look at your credit score, but they're also going to look at if you can afford that particular loan. So a lot of people have to have a cosigner, not because they have a bad credit score, but they may have to have a cosigner because they don't have enough money far as this particular company is concerned to be able to make that payment. So when you become the guarantee or the other person, then they're going to add your income to it. They're going to look at your credit score, and then they may go ahead and grant that loan. So if that's the case, make sure that you get the paperless bill, or you get that bill in the mail to you directly. A fourth option you can take to go ahead and protect yourself is to use auto pay. So I just talked about having a person pay you through PayPal or whatever. You can also insist upon auto pay. So have that person sign up for auto pay. I mean, Comcast and cable companies and all those kinds of places now, you can do auto pay. So maybe you have that person sign up for auto pay. It is absolutely a great option. You still need to go back to tip number 2 and tip number 3 and check on that account just in case the person cancels that auto pay. Some things happen and somebody may cancel the auto pay and you won't know until it's too late. And you don't want that to happen. If you have good credit and you've been a good steward over your credit, then you don't want to let somebody else's misfortune negatively affect you and your credit score. Because you know this. The whole point and purpose behind this show is to help you increase your credit scores, which is going to lower your interest rates, and you're going to save money. Now, what you do with that money is on you. Maybe the money that you save, you always go out and blow it. You get your nails done, get your hair done, you put some rims on your car, whatever it is. Or maybe you save that money and invest it and make that money grow for you. Maybe you save that money in an account so you have an emergency fund, or you be able to send your kid to that camp that they want to go to, or pay for AAU basketball, or maybe even one day in the future send your kid to college. So make sure that you come back every Saturday, 1:30 Central Standard Time, listen to the 800 Credit Score Man Show so you can increase your credit scores. All right, so a fifth thing that you can do to help protect yourself is to create a plan. When you co-sign for someone, and say if you were to co-sign for someone on a vehicle, if you're going to do that, you got 5 years or maybe even 6 years at this point to pay that vehicle off. Create a plan for refinance in the future. So if this person needed some credit help and their credit score was low, and hopefully with this co-signing, they're going to have a good account and their credit scores will go up, maybe they'll be able to refinance earlier than this 5 or 6 year commitment, and that way you can get it out of your name as well. Because when you do co-sign, that part, that income or whatever that payment is, comes out of your income. So when you go get a loan, when you go to refinance your home, when you go to get a mortgage, they're going to count that as part of your debts. And just because you're not the one paying it, it's on your credit report and it's going to be taken into consideration. So you don't want to block your own blessings and not be able to refinance or anything of that nature with your own credit simply because you have another $500, $600 a month bill out there that you don't actually pay. But the mortgage companies and the personal loan places and the banks are not going to take your word for it. They've got to go by what's on your credit report. So that's something that you need to think about when you start co-signing for someone else as well. So I want to say this as well. Don't end up on Judge Mathis. Do not end up on Judge Mathis or People's Court or any of those shows over $900. You got your best friend, you've been friends for 30 years, and you got a $900 bill, and you guys have conflict because somebody's not paying the bill. So if you utilize those things to protect yourself, the 5 different tips I just gave you in regard to co-signing to protect yourself, then you may be able to save that relationship as well. So when I'm talking about this, also, I can't stress enough how you can monitor that account. Make sure you monitor that account, because sometimes it may not be your friend. It may not be your cousin or your nephew or whoever you co-sign with. It could be the company that makes a mistake, and then it's on your credit report and it's reporting negatively, and you're going to have an issue trying to get it off. So make sure that you monitor that account. Keep the lines of communication open between you and the other person or the other party on this particular loan. Keep those lines of communication open, because there is stress and strain related to money. A lot of people fall out over money. I said Judge Mathis just a minute ago. You see it all the time when people are on shows suing each other. And if we see it on TV, you can imagine how many people are doing it in regular courts all over this country right now. So keep the lines of communication open, whether you're the person that's helping that person out or you're the person that needed the help. Keep the lines of communication open. So if you're the person that needed the help, you needed that co-signer, and somebody helped you out in your time of need, then make sure you tell the other party when payments are made. When you make your payment and they haven't done any of these options, they didn't make you pay them directly, they didn't make you send the monthly bills to them, they don't have access to check on the account. When you make your payments, then you should make sure that the other party knows. So you got to do this on a monthly basis. In these times, all you got to do is take a quick photo, send a text message, letting them know that it's actually being paid. Now, I would prefer, if I co-sign from someone, that you go ahead and you take a snapshot. You make the payment, you get the little thing on your phone, you take a little snapshot picture, text it to me. That way I know it's done. I don't even have to call you. I don't have to worry about it. So save yourself and your relationship with the other party from stress and strain by doing those things for them and for you guys. So when you co-sign for a loan, what does that do for your credit score? How does that affect your credit? Here's what happens. So you co-sign. Let's just pick that you did a personal loan. You went to a bank that gave you a personal loan for $2,000. You needed a co-signer. So both of you guys sign. Both of you are legally responsible for this money. Here's what can or could happen. So let's say that person that really was making the payment, they needed the money,